look at Credit Suisse itself, now you've been expanding in a big way, a corporate banking license in place. What are the plans for that?
Right. Well, yeah, I think this was the final piece of the puzzle, which or piece of the pie, which we had not had in our re-establishment over the last 4.5, 5 years. So we did get a bank license, the final approval in August. We're over the moon about that, actually. I think that allows us to do a few things, Shaili. It allows us to close out the product offering which we provide our clients, either globally or which we want to do within India. And by that I mean we have a wealth management business in India, but right now we don't have the capability of providing them an account opening, managing their money with us. They manage the money elsewhere. This way, they will open up accounts. So clearly, that's from a deposit-taking perspective, that allows us to provide that. B, we are in the lending business. We do have an NBFC license. We do use that as for making loans. But going forward, again, we'll have the bank to do lending. So those are the two main activities which the bank would allow us to do, which we could not do before. 3, it allows us to, again, provide clients with solutions in the fixed income space, maybe foreign exchange, maybe fixed rates, credit. I think providing that to our corporate clients and financial institution clients. So I think the banking license allows us to do all these activities which we could not do in our securities entity, which we have been active in the last 4 years.
We do notice in the last 8 months you've done some serious hires, and there's also being CS back in the market in a big way kind of story with your recent issues, including Tata Motors, etc.
Including one last night. We did a $200 million convertible for Videocon.
Okay.
So yeah, I think very clearly we're back. I mean, it's a silly comment to be passing at 4.5 years into my stay at CS, but yes, we are back in a big way. I think this year is again a defining year for us in more ways than one. I think you mentioned senior hires. Yes, we've hired a new head of ECM. We've hired a senior banker in Sandeep Pangal. We've hired Vedika Bhandarkar as vice chairperson, to help me across all our businesses. She's clearly somebody who comes with great investment banking relationships, but again, been in the market for 17 years. So those are 3 hires which stand out. But having said that, we have actually, I didn't even realize it myself, and tonight's our Christmas party, we're now more than 200 employees. So, for somebody we're 201 to be precise. I was the first employee. We have 200 new employees in the last 4 years, and 66 this year. We made 66 hires in 2010. And this is, by the way, only the front office I'm talking about. I'm not talking about our Center of Excellence in Pune, where we have about 2,000 odd, and our KPO in Powai, where we have about 350. Sure. So India is clearly a focus market. We have our wealth management business, which I haven't spoken about yet. We have 60 odd employees there now. We have a full-fledged Delhi branch.
But what will drive it for now? With the corporate bank still sort of getting itself in shape, would you look at investment banking being the leader for now?
The leader, actually, I normally talk about that the most. Maybe that's because of my background. But the leader for us has been our equities business. Yeah. We are, interestingly enough, number 1 player right now in a short span of time in institutional equities. And I think using that as a beachhead to support our investment banking business, right, I think that's going to be a very potent combination. So yes, 2011 is the branch set up and getting that off the ground. That's going to be probably a second half.
What do you make of that Axis Enam deal that happened? I must say, it was quite a deal, right? After a long time in this space.
I think it's this is my whole point. Actually, you asked about consolidation in the commercial banking space. Actually, I'm not surprised with this transaction. I think Enam has a very strong domestic investment banking franchise. Very clearly a leader in the IPO space. I think if they can have the muscle of partly balance sheet, which Axis provides them, I think they become stronger in businesses which go beyond just pure corporate finance M&A. I think that's what they probably want to continue to grow on. And by that I mean the institutional equity space. Now, they may still not have the global reach which us global players have, but at least they become stronger in terms of balance sheet. I think that's, and more importantly, I think using the Axis Bank corporate relationships with Enam's investment banking prowess. I think that's what the aspiration is.
Do you expect to see such deals happen at least in 2011 as well? Because it's clear that investment banking standalone models don't work anymore, but this is a good example of that.
No, I'll flip it back to you. I mean, name me 2 players who you think are going to go ahead and do that. I think no, I don't think. Also, there's one more angle to it, right? I don't think it was the my personal opinion. I don't think it was only the fact that the model didn't work. I think the model does work, but also if you realize what have the original promoters of Inam done, they've now separated what their longer term passion might be, as in wealth management, as in
AMC.
Asset management, private PMS, a new fund which they might want to launch to get into that space. So so that was probably another driver of this transaction. Not only because it didn't work. So I don't think. So I think we will need to find players who actually believe, okay, fine, I've grown this business to this level. I might want to either exit it or focus on something else, and that might drive it. Do I think in 2011 we'll see one or two more of these transactions? Yeah, actually, if I was a betting man, I would say the answer is yes.